This is the Elikliv. It's a 4K autofocus microscope, model EM4K-AF. They have another one called EM4K-AF Flex, which just has like a arm like you would see people use on their monitors that you clamp to the side of the desk and then this swivels around. That'd be pretty handy probably, but I don't have that, so we're just doing this. It does have a remote. It uses a coin cell battery. I have been having trouble trying to get it to turn on the display with a remote. It will turn off the display with a remote and do other things, so you do have to come up here, at least on mine, and hit the power button to get it to come on. Let me pan up a little for you. So right now we're zoomed in on this penny. It does have an autofocus, which is pretty neat. I haven't figured out how to like disable it. Let me slide this penny here a little. So this does have video. We'll go ahead and start recording the video here. It's going to focus in and then it's recording. It does have these lights. We'll pan down here. They're not the brightest, but you've got the button. There's a slide wheel on the back, so you can control them. I got them at full tilt right now. Come back to the display for a second here. And see under here on this shaft, it's kind of hard to see in the image. It looks like there's a minus button, a plus button, an autofocus, a P1. I can't actually get them. Oh, they do work. They weren't working earlier. So you can turn the autofocus on or off. Maybe, maybe not. Something I don't like though is you can't access all the buttons because of this ring thing. I don't really understand that. Maybe you're supposed to let it go higher. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, okay. Ryan's just an idiot. Good to know. So don't do what I did. Great. So you do have these ones. What's P1? I'm not sure what that does. Oh, okay. So this is all just for the autofocus and the focus in general. So it looks like you could turn the autofocus off, go to manual, and then you could do it, but then you're shaking all around. The autofocus seems to work all right. That's up to you. I'm actually surprisingly pleased with it. It is a little noisy. It makes like 1970s computer sound, like as it's focusing. But oh, sorry, I shook you guys there. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with this. I've got the coin on there. Let's pan down a bunch. I will say a lot of this is made out of very flimsy plastic and pot metal, but the base is pretty sturdy. Let's go back to autofocus. Let me take my mic off and let you hear this. Did you hear that? So that's what it sounds like. It's not the loudest thing in the world, so it's not like it's annoying or anything, but it's almost cute, right? So you do have these lights, like I said. Let's move those out of the way and I'll show you something else. See this right here? That is a... Oh wow, I thought you had to touch the plastic, but you're just touching anything below it. So this is the lights that are in here. There's quite a few diodes around the lens. And then you can just kind of crank that up there. Pretty cool, right? So let's look at something else. Let us take a look at a circuit board. We have a Game Boy game here. Let's zoom out a bunch so we can see it all. Let's see if this will light. Oh yeah, a little too much, but make the autofocus. Somehow I've managed to turn autofocus off. There, now it's sticky. It must just be a certain number of taps on it. So this is max height. We can get most of this Game Boy Color Tetris DX in here. Okay. So let's turn the light down. There we go. You see, we've got the game in here. We're going to zoom in a bunch. Wow, this thing is just kind of wibbly wobbly, as you can tell. Let's get some light in here so I can focus. And there we go, you know, it just focuses right in. So you could come in here and you could look at the game, and yeah. Let's go back to the circuit. So I know on this one, I have not replaced the battery on this, someone else did. Let me turn the light back on. It's a little harsh, let's turn it down some. There we go. So you can see where someone's replaced this battery. And it's hard to tell right now, but there's a bunch of flux residue on here. And then they got the PCB a little hot. I think that's some more flux on there. So before I put this back together, I'll come in here with some ISO and clean this up. You can also see their fingerprints on the thing here. If you look up here, let me get something to point with. So if you look up in here, you can see where they soldered the tab on at the factory, or however they attach it. I'm assuming that's solder. And they it got the battery a little hot. Let's turn the light down some. But yeah, you've got some interesting lighting options. I actually like this light on the ring. My other ones don't have that. Of course, you can see them now, but yeah, pretty cool. So you could come down here and you could read a chip if you wanted. Oh, okay, that's what that chip is. And then you could do the same thing down here. Let me get rid of some of the light. I've noticed that some of the mask or silkscreen or whatever they do on these chips just doesn't like light. But I can see what this is, HY6264A, and I could look that part up. I could do this one, you know, we got the DMG MBC, IBI, or 1B1, Nintendo, 98393 Alpha. And then we can come over here and we can see all the contacts in their glory, and let's give it a little more light. We can see there's a resistor, where is it? Right there. So for circuitry, I don't know, I would use the overhead light. I'd come in with an angle, because now I can read that value on that resistor. Using the ring light on the lens, it's kind of hard to see that 103. So, little pro tip there. Yeah, I love this thing. This is a lot better than I thought. Let's look at a dollar bill real quick. So you can see all the detail in George's face. You can see the treasury seal real nice. I know there's some good fibers. There's a blue and red one, I think, on the back. I was looking at this dollar bill earlier on another scope to try to find some interesting stuff for this one. I don't remember where it was. Sorry, guys. We'll just kind of scroll around until we find one. Well, you can see some of the fibers in there. The security feature, red and blue fibers. Oh, there it is. There's a nice blue one on the surface. How about maybe a Black Lotus white border? You zoom out a bunch here. So you can see most of the card here. We got our Black Lotus. We got our Christopher Rush down here who illustrated it. Let's look at the back of the card. I try not to scratch it too much. You get your mana colors. Get your Magic the Gathering. I wonder what this mottled blue looks like. It'd be really nice if this thing used like a motorized wheel. Oh, it'd be really great. There's that little trippy pattern that makes up the blue. Pretty cool. And last but not least, I'm curious what a stamp looks like. I have some old stamps here that aren't particularly worth much, but we'll take a look. How about we look at this Luxembourg stamp? Stamps I had as a kid. I don't know why I ever thought stamps were cool, but zoom out a little here. So, you know, even here we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. We're looking at like, I don't know, 20 times magnification if that math tracks. These are about 4 stamps wide, or 4 stamps tall and 5 stamps wide. So already pretty cool. And oh, so there's some initials maybe right there from the die engraver. I never would have saw those with my naked eye. Let's recenter here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Are those initials? Or is that just some errant strikes there from the engraver. Who knows? But yeah, pretty cool. You see a little ink there on the stamp. See the double crosses on the crown. Get way up in his ear, might be able to see some earwax. Maybe that's what that is. Anyway, I really like this thing. The build quality leaves something to be desired, but this one's pretty affordable. So, you know, when you're not paying a whole bunch, you kind of, they got to save their money somewhere, and sometimes that's with the plastic. If you're not taking this thing apart a lot and you're just leaving it on a desk, you can even see quite a bit of detail there on the metal. I'm going to stop this recording real fast. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, plastic. Like, you know, you get what you pay for, but this autofocus is pretty great. I honestly thought it wasn't going to be good. I'll be blunt. Autofocus on one of these microscopes just didn't sound like how much processing power could it really have, but apparently it does. Let us test this battery here. I'm assuming the battery is in the actual display. Wow, we are on battery. Fancy that. None of mine do that. That's pretty cool. That's actually really nice. Obviously you want to be able to power the arm lights, but you would be able to power the built-in light, but you could easily run those off of a little battery bank. You could realistically do this whole thing off a battery bank, but the LEDs on the arms are pulling 1 watt right now, so, you know, whatever. I give this 2 thumbs up. It surprised me. It was a sleeper. All right, I'll see you in the next video.